And ladies and gentlemen, they are back to their usual games. You see, these are anti-national people. They will always remain anti-national people. Farooq Abdullah may not like it. Mehbooba Mufti may not like it. But they are anti-national people. Systematically, these people want to downplay what happened in Pahalgam. They will say one thing, one line about Pahalgam, and then they will say things like this. Oh my God, the terrorist homes, they are being destroyed. How bad, how sad. We feel so sorry about the terrorist homes. All those homes built with terrorist money, the proceeds of terrorism, they must be preserved, Mr. Farooq Abdullah, according to you. And Mehbooba Mufti, another anti-national, she says, so much damage, the humanitarian concerns of terrorists must be looked at. Really? Did you think about the humanitarian concerns of terrorists when your own sister was kidnapped and your father was home minister? That time you freaked out, because it was in the family. Anyway, I have my doubts about what was happening at that time with your sister, Rubaya Saeed. Did you think about the human rights of her kidnappers, Mehbooba Mufti? You are so anti-national. Your entire politics is anti-national. And these people are now saying, what about the homes of the terrorists? We feel so bad when we see their luxurious bungalows, which have been made by taking money from the Pakistanis, destroyed. Well then, Mehbooba Mufti, did that terrorist family benefit from the proceeds of terrorism? They did. Did you ask those families, where did they get the money from to build those gigantic, luxurious bungalows? How come terrorists have such lavish homes? Did the terrorists say that, no, we won't share the money we get by being jihadis? And anyway, why does your heart burn when you see their homes being destroyed or being bombed? You should celebrate. But perhaps you're worried that your own homes will be bombed if you eventually go on to find out who's a terrorist and who's not. The problem is, ladies and gentlemen, that there is this small group of Kashmiri leaders and there's a bunch of people in Lutyens who work together. They work together for years. It's been a very happy industry, this Aman Ki Asha type of industry. Do you remember what Barkha Dutt said? Barkha Dutt said about the terrorist Burhan Wani. And all these people like Barkha Dutt, isn't she the one who was also given some kind of support from a terrorist group? Didn't Hafiz Saeed say that he appreciates the work that people like Barkha Dutt have done? We must check that out. But Barkha Dutt said about Burhan Wani, she said, my report on Burhan Wani and locals like him, many of them toppers, one called Newton. Why are they picking up the gun? And the report was captioned, young, educated, tech-savvy, and from economically well-off households. That's the profile of the new age militant in the valley. Why are Kashmir school toppers picking up the gun? And furthering the toolkit attitude with Burhan Wani, that report said Burhan Wani, Hizbul commander, son of a school headmaster, who used social media as a weapon, killed in Anantnag. Big story. Ladies and gentlemen, this is what they've done. They call a terrorist a social media savvy militant. Look at the description. Look at the use of words. Similarly, Gautam Naulakha later went to jail, said, why did a bright student like Manan pick up the gun? What made him think there was no other way? Now, link this back to what Congress leader Vijay Vachetiwar said. What proof do you have that terrorists killed people after asking them about their religion? Do terrorists have time for all this? Really? What does this Congress leader think terrorists have time for? Are they IT entrepreneurs? Are they doing big corporate Zoom calls? These people are pathetic. People like Siddaramaiah, we are not in favor of war. Well, who the hell are you, Siddaramaiah, to give your opinion on whether you are for or against war? Or for the matter, The Wire, which has published an editorial yesterday. And I'm taking names tonight because I'm sick and tired of trying to be suggestive on this. We must be very direct. The Wire, apparently, that really ridiculous, radicalized website says, accusatory fingers were pointed at Pakistan. None of these accusations are supported by investigations or evidence. Really? Is that the same position you took about urban Naxals? The fact is that Hashim Musa, the Pakistani terrorist behind the massacre in Pahalgam, is a former para-commander of the Pakistan Army Special Forces. Will The Wire or the Scroll or the print that with big fonts right on top as headlines and do carpet bombing on Pakistan's role in Pahalgam. They should. In fact, the Wire says the scale of retaliation as seen in the demolition and damaging of a dozen houses is highly disproportionate. The action of demolishing the homes of terrorists is cruel, disproportionate. By whose measure? These are the same kind of people who called Osama bin Laden Osama G and who wanted proof after Balakot. What do we call these people? Who are these people? Why do they talk like this? What is behind their attitude? Why do they have a position that is resented by the people of India, which goes against national interest? And how long, ladies and gentlemen, how long do we have to take this and tolerate this? The question is to you.